welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, we're going to be going over my September budget, or I guess I should say kind of creating, that I once again am changing up, setup, that's the word I was looking for, of my budget because I just needed more space and a lot of the fixed expenses are now possibly variable, so I just wanted to make sure that I had a budget and actual for everything, and I just happened to have enough space for all of the ones that we had for September. So I'm just going to zoom in and get started here. For those of you that are new, I don't share what our income is, but there is a little like special thing that is happening in September, or will be the September budget, I guess, because it's technically happening prior to September, that I'll be sharing that income, and that is the IRA. So, little backstory as to what the heck that means and why that's classified as income. One, that we had just recently sold our rental property, and with that money we were planning on putting it towards both savings and paying off debt, and one of the big ones being my Parent Plus loan, which for those of you that don't know what that is, it's basically just a special federal loan that your parents will take out if you don't have enough money, or like you don't qualify enough for loans. So it's technically not in my name. It is in my parents' name, but I agreed to pay it off, and we were going to use the money from the rental to pay that off because the interest rate is 7%, and that has been 7% since we took it out like close to 10 years ago. So it's not because the interest rates are high. And with that, we are not going to be putting the money from the rental towards anything, because we purchased another, or we're in the process of purchasing another rental. Hopefully this one will be a better investment, you know, because that's what you want to do, is every single time get a little bit better. The reason we're doing that is, one, we found a property that we did like and we think it'd be the location is great, so it'll be easy to rent out, hopefully, is the idea. And with that, we're also doing that because for those of you that don't know, and just bear with me for a second, we are doing a 1031, which is basically a transfer of funds from one investment property to another, so that way we don't have to pay taxes on it, because otherwise we would have paid like $8,000 in taxes. And I don't actually know if it's $8,000, that's just what I was told from my husband, so I don't know what he was calculating it off of. I don't know if it's off of the full amount of selling it, or if it's just the profit, because I have not looked into it. But moral of the story is, we were like, hey, I would like to keep that $8,000, so we are rolling it into a new investment property. So that's the first part. The second part is, back in 2021, my father passed away and left us, me and my sister, some money, and it is in some kind of IRA that is basically like a rollover, that it has to be emptied out in 10 years. I cannot think of like what it's called off the top of my head right now. But we haven't touched any of that money, and so my husband and I are going to be taking out just enough to pay off that really insane student loan. So with that, the IRA is the account that we're taking money out of that will be technically income, but it'll just be going to my Parent Plus loan, because I don't want to deal with the interest on that. And on top of that, the payment for it, because the loan is so large, is like $200. So I don't want to deal with that. We have the money. The money is technically at this point making less money in the IRA than it is if we were to pay off the student loan. So now that it is going to have interest, it just makes the most sense. So we are budgeting $16,000 for that. And the other three I don't share. Moving on to the expenses. So the mortgage is another one of those expenses that I don't share. And there's a few expenses in here. I've actually been better at sharing the majority. I kind of just got like super cautious at the beginning, but I don't share a couple of expenses solely because, one, I feel like those expenses are kind of like the most sensitive, but also we don't want to share. We don't want it to be easy to figure out our incomes. So those are the most likely that you would have a hard time figuring it out. So don't share the mortgage, but that is whatever we budgeted for is going to be the actual, but it's just there. And then my Corolla is $296. Ashley Furniture, we are paying $80. And for September, it's going to be $80, but depending on how much extra money we make, it might be more than that. But as it sits, it'll just be $80. But that is also a 0% financing. I think that's up in April. So we will need to up our amount because originally we were paying so much money towards this, and I was like, we are paying this off way too fast. And I mean, not that that's a problem, but if we're going to take advantage of the 0%, we can lower it, and I must have lowered it too much. So, and then Home Depot is technically just extra money, but we do have to make a payment on it. And with my savings challenge, we are planning on putting $1,205 towards that. We will see how that goes. I'm hoping we're able to put more towards that, but I don't know. That it's up in the air once again, depending on how much extra money we make. We still have not received our monthly bill for our AC and furnace, so that's $0 budgeted. We might end up making a payment on it depending on when we get the bill, whatever, because we did get a full bill, but it's a confusing situation because we went through 0% interest through a credit card that is specifically for this, and so we have to pay with that credit card the total balance, but with that, obviously we don't have the monthly amount yet. It has come to like $16,000 something, but the monthly amount as of right now is $0. So that is up in the air, and a placeholder just in case we do end up paying on it, or for next month at least. And then we have $122.50 for subscriptions. So that includes Hulu, Netflix, and Xbox, and our car wash monthly subscription. And I feel like I'm missing one other thing. Oh, our gym memberships. Of course I forgot them because we haven't gone to the gym. So yes, both of our gym memberships, which are both $10. So it's only a whopping $20 for that. So I don't feel bad that we haven't gone. Yes, we really need to go, or we need to cancel our gym membership, but at least it's only $10 and not $122 like some people's. Because I know that there's some expensive gyms out there. But we've got Verizon. This has gone down. It is going to be $65, or that's what we're budgeting at least. And that is due to the fact that I switched to Mint Mobile because I don't need like super great coverage as long as my husband still has good coverage. Because normally if I'm leaving our area, I am with my husband. Or I'm with someone that has like really good service. So I was super like, yeah, I can switch, no issues, whatever. And I looked at the coverage map and it said that I was supposed to have great coverage everywhere in my area. And I've had crap coverage everywhere in my area. So I have a 3-month like contract, or I've paid for 3 months basically up front. And so once that 3 months is up, I'm switching to something else. We have Spectrum for internet, so just jumping along to that, that's going to be $65 as well. And so I think I'm going to try switching to Spectrum because it's the same price as Mint, but we will see. Maybe Verizon bill will go back up. I hope not, but who knows. And then gas for our home, we have the average monthly payment, which is for right now $116. We have our fun money, which I am not sharing that amount. Yeah, and then eating out, we have $150. And normally I don't share that amount, but we have lowered it. And on top of that, I don't even know if we're gonna end up like meeting that. That is a stretch goal for sure. We ate out way too much. And then groceries, I have upped to $700, and that is solely because I went to the grocery store today and spent way too much money, and I am scared that we're not going to end up being able to stay within the $600, which is really insane because it's just me and Dalton and it's $700 for groceries. And I don't buy anything ridiculous. That's expensive. So I don't know. But I spent just under $200 this week, and part of it was stuff from Sam's Club that'll definitely last us into next week. So I'm not concerned about that because we do have it basically $300 per paycheck, but I'm just thinking, I think we're gonna end up spending more than $100 next week. I don't think we'll spend the $150 that we're like technically budgeted per week, but I do think we'll go over for that. So that is just because, one, I'm scared and we have the money, but two, I also lowered our eating out, so, you know, we gotta eat somewhere. We did not lower this $100 though. And then gas for our car is $200, and as far as I can tell, that's been pretty like reasonable. If we go over on that, it's normally within like a couple of dollars, so nothing that I am going to change our budget for. Pets, I did lower because I canceled so we have the Breeze system for our litter boxes, and so I canceled all the pellets because, one, we have like a million bajillion pellets sitting in a closet, because we like ordered too many of Amazon like subscribe and save, too many too fast. But on top of that, we are also transitioning to, I think they're like horse pellets or something, I don't know, like they're for bedding, and that has been working well. So those are like $7 for a giant bag that'll last us a couple of months, as opposed to I think it was like $30 per month that we were spending. So, oh, I forgot to write it down. So $175 is what we are lowering that to. Electricity, we are budgeting $470, which hopefully with our new AC unit, that is not anywhere close to that. But we are budgeting that amount because it's kind of like a fixed expense now, because we had said anything that is over, like in between $470 and what we actually pay for electricity, is going to go to home improvement. So we don't budget anything for home improvement because that is basically dependent on our extra money. So like if we make extra money this month, or if we are really good with our budget and we have extra money due to that. Retirement is another thing I don't share. And then Bentley, one of our dogs, is going to the vet for his like normal annual shot things. I don't know why my brain is not working right now, but we are budgeting $150 for that. And I also don't know why I put zeros for some of these and not for the others, so we'll just do this. And so for sinking funds, we are planning on $500. We will see how that goes. The reason I'm saying we'll see how that goes is because we are saving $500 to sinking funds for a couple of different things, and one of the sinking funds that we have is for vet bills. And so I'm just trying to cash flow this, and we'll see what ends up happening. But that is the crazy budget for this month. So I will end it there. Leave me a comment down below what fun thing you are putting in your budget for September, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!